560, The Answer.
Hey, welcome back to Get Down to Business, the show all about small business, jobs, and entrepreneurship. And for those of you that are watching on our live stream, you can see on my sweater over here, I've got a I voted sticker because I early voted. Very proud of that, and hopefully everybody, even with everything going on, and indeed, people should take this very, very seriously. Wash your hands, practice social distancing and all that. But a good way to do this is to vote early. So there's still another chance to do that. But I'm thrilled to have on my friend, Kim Neely DuBuclet, who is now a commissioner on the Metropolitan Water Reclamation District, and she's running for re-election. We'd love to get into why she believes she should be re-elected for another term. Kim, welcome to the program.
Thank you, and it's so nice to talk to you, Shalom. It's been a while, but it's very nice to be on your show, so thank you for having me.
It has been a while, and I've been following your tremendous work on the MWRD Board of Commissioners. You've been doing a fantastic job protecting our waters, and that is so important. Kim, it's an interesting time right now, and I know that you now have a track record. Last time, I think we had you were running for your first term, and now it's time as a candidate. So now it's time for re-election. So Kim, for those of you that don't, for those of our listeners that don't know you, let's talk a little bit about your background and how it led to you coming onto the MWRD.
Sure. So I am a native Chicagoan from the very far south side of Chicago, kind of just south of Hyde Park. I went to lab school for high school, went to University of Illinois for college, and then came back to Chicago and got my MBA from the University of Chicago. So I worked in corporate for a while for AT&T. I actually worked at the University of Chicago, and then I got appointed as a state representative. I served in the General Assembly for a couple of years. And then I came back to Chicago to work for the Chicago Park District as their Legislative and Community Affairs Director. And while there, I decided, after many years, to run for the Water Reclamation District for many regions, which we can get into. So that's kind of, in a nutshell, my background.
Absolutely.
And where I am.
Absolutely. So, Kim, over the past couple of years, you have obviously been on the MWRD Board of Commissioners, and you have been endorsed for re-election by the Chicago Sun-Times, the Chicago Tribune, the Daily Herald. What are you most proud of in your work over the past few years in having accomplished?
Thank you. So, as a board member, we've accomplished quite a bit over the past few years. One, we just recently hired an Inspector General, which is the first time an Inspector General has been has had oversight over the agency in its 130-year history. I'm also the chairperson of the Stormwater Management Committee, so that's a huge accomplishment because we just updated our water management maintenance watershed management ordinance, WMO, and we just also passed an ethics ordinance. So we've been quite busy.
You indeed have been very busy, and you've been working obviously on protecting our environment, protecting the waters. And that is mission critical in the area, and that's why you've received so many fantastic endorsements for re-election from many prominent organizations. So tell us a little bit about what please. Let's talk about it.
Sure. So the Metropolitan Water Reclamation Agency Metropolitan Water Reclamation District is responsible for managing wastewater, managing stormwater, and protecting the environment. So every time you flush the toilet, every time something goes down the sewer, something goes down the drain, we take that wastewater, stormwater, sewer water, and we process it to make sure that it does not end up back into our fresh water supply, which most of your listeners know is Lake Michigan. So we consider ourselves caretakers of the environment as we process wastewater. And I'd like to say that I consider myself an environmentalist. While I was in Springfield as a state rep, I was able to caucus with the Illinois Environmental Caucus and all the other environmental groups and voted with them 100% of the time, got an A+ rating. And so I was also very instrumental in lobbying other of my colleagues to vote for environmental issues. So this is something that's very near and dear to me.
So you've only been in on the MWRD Board of Commissioners for a couple of years. If you are fortunate to be given the opportunity by voters to be reelected to another term, what are some of the goals and some of the things that you hope to work on? And Kim, are you still with us?
Oh, I'm sorry.
Oh,
yeah.
that's okay. What are some of your goals for the next term?
Sure. So one of the things, there's several things. One of the things I'm very interested in, and I know there's a bill pending in Springfield that's been led by one of my colleagues, Deborah Shore, is a drug take-back program. We want to make sure that prescription drugs don't get flushed down the toilet, which is a very bad idea for our environment. And it's incumbent upon us as commissioners to really get that word out, to give seniors other options for disposing of their prescription drugs. The other thing is talking to young kids about STEM careers, because that's primarily what we do at the district. And then finally, really just educating the public on climate change and little things that the public can do to address climate change.
Such important issues, and the drug disposal is such an important issue. And the MWRD is, many people don't know this, but obviously such a large real estate holder across the area, but also such a large employer. And many people don't know about the types of jobs. Obviously, there are jobs at MWRD, but like you were saying about STEM, it's really interesting because many people don't consider opportunities like those that are offered at MWRD, and I know that you are very passionate about making those positions available. And community is sort of your background, Kim, isn't it? You talked in your brief intro about your work at the Chicago Park District, connecting with the community. So let's talk the MWRD. A lot of people don't even know what the MWRD necessarily stands for, what the MWRD does. How are you hoping to demystify that to voters and to the people that you serve?
Yeah, very good question. So as much as possible, almost every day, I'm out in front of senior groups, working with aldermen, working with community organizers, working with local townships when they have their monthly meetings, just to talk about all that we do to help mitigate flooding, to help with the environment, and to help with drug take-back programs. So we're out constantly meeting with the public to let them know what we do and how important our work is. As you mentioned earlier, we're the second largest landowner in the county, and Cook County is the second largest county in the nation behind Los Angeles County. So we cover a lot of area. We do a lot of good work, but people don't know what we do. So it's been challenging but fun to get around the county to talk to all the different constituents about our work and how they can be aware of the environment and environmental issues.
Absolutely, and I know that together with that unique sort of role as being the second largest landowner in Cook County comes the unique responsibility to set an example around the environment, such as being a good example around greenhouse emissions and so on. And I know that you are fighting every day to make sure that happens. So, Kim, we are just about out of time, and I want to make sure that our listeners know where they can find out more about your campaign and a little bit about your background. Can you share a website?
Sure. So my website is Kim, which is my name, Kim, the number 4water.com. That's Kim4water.com. I am running for re-election. My punch number is 126. I'm actually running with the slate. I'm running with Cam Davis, who is a former Great Lakes czar appointed by Barack Obama. And then there's myself, and then another young lady named Ada Sepulveda. So our punch numbers are 125, 126, and 127. We call ourselves the Dream Water Team.
You are indeed, because you look at the Chicago Tribune, and those are the names that have been endorsed, and it's a crowded ballot. But be sure to look out for Kim Neely DuBuclet on the ballot and vote for that Dream Team for water. Kim, thanks for joining us on Get Down to Business.
Thank you very much.
Absolutely. Well, we are going to get into the issue of the day with my next guest after our next break. I'll be chatting with the CEO of Dorridge, who is providing some emergency relief for students around storage, which is what they do. But we're going to talk about the small business perspective of being a business owner in this strange and trying times of coronavirus. We are the show all about small business, jobs, and entrepreneurship, and we're very appreciative of our sponsors at Tandem HR. They are your solution center for everything around the Affordable Care Act, everything surrounding employment and HR best practices. You can give them a call, 630-928-0510, 630-928-0510. Give them a call and get on their website, tandemhr.com. They have a wealth of information, knowledge. You don't want to miss it. Check it out. It's important to stay current with the regulations, tandemhr.com. You're listening to the show all about small business, jobs, and entrepreneurship, and we'll be right back.
Do you own a run?